you got somebody like Hello Starlight or like Lemonade or these people who come into the fray and they're like attention seekers, right? And it's like, I'm not an attention seeker. Like, I don't
Neither am
give
I.
a fuck whether you like me or not. Like, I can
You're
a
go my
pick
own
me
way.
girl,
Like,
Beck.
Be
quiet.
it's not a problem.
All right, Beck. Here, I'll give you this. I'm not an attention seeker either. I was able to befriend this.
You're right, bitch.
Shut up, Ross. Give me a second. I was
I
able
see.
to befriend this entire group of gentlemen, to hear their side of things, to be able to differentiate what was true and what was false, what was bullshit that people were saying online, and then what was who they actually are. Like, I came in, I blind. I didn't know any of the history, and I was able to see it for what it was. And
They're gonna
It made me
make you
cry,
the next
Papa.
lemonade, Steph.
Shut up, guys.
Steph, you're my main Papa.
Every single time I landed with them, every time, it wasn't even a question. I didn't. There was no question about it. Every time I landed with them, and that's because they stuck to what's true. They've got a lot of crude humor, and they say a lot of fucked up stuff, and they whatever, but they do stick to what's true. And that's why I asked
one time
at the beginning of the stream. That's why I asked you, when you hear the rumor that a man you're with romantically, that you're sleeping with, has had interactions with children, and there's recordings of it on the internet.
It makes me want to.
You didn't even look into it. You didn't even want to know. Like, I would have wanted to know. Personally, I would have looked into it. I would have wanted to know. I would have needed to know.
And here's the thing, it's like, I did want to know. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you about it. I did want to know, but the minute that fucker saw me in chats or like anywhere, even if I made a comment and said anything, he'd be like, "What are you doing in there?" So he clearly had like a bunch
Another
of people
sign
like,
to you. And to me, that would be another
should
fucking
have
huge
been.
red flag.
100. So like, you know, I was just talking about this with like somebody at my work, and I was like, you know that feeling when you're like fucking 40 years old and you feel like a piece of shit because you should have actually like looked at something and you knew something was bad and you just didn't look at it because you just didn't, you know, you were just trying to be a good person. But in the back of your mind, you're like, I should have, you know, like in the back of your mind, you're like, I should probably do this.
So
I should
this
probably look
We're all 40 and white once, am I right?
I was about to say the same thing, Ross. We're all 40
Hold
and
on,
white.
guys. Hold on.
This
This is where I have like a red line with you, and I can't empathize with what you're saying, because in my mind, if anybody ever told me there's recordings out there of somebody that I'm sleeping with, who I say I'm in love with, who I defend to the ends of the earth, but there's recordings of him interacting with children under the age of 13 about porn. That's something me, personally, my moral standards, I would have to look into. I would have to.
I'm not
no
even
ifs, ands, or buts about it. No PTSD, no excuse. And then on top of it, if I chose not to look into it, the last thing that I would fucking do is turn around and accuse Vin Vader of being anything. You accused him of being a pedophile, Beck.
We love
I did. Yes,
you did. You did that.
I did do that.
I tried to give you a really long rope, and when I heard you say that, I was like, God damn, why?
Watch this.
Fucking why? Just why? It made no sense. There was no basis for it. There was no grounding for it. All he ever did was just put out the recordings of what Jim Renham said. If they were altered, if there was a 15-minute video of him giving a narration of his interpretation of recordings, I could understand it. But all he ever did was put out the recordings. Exactly.
Yeah, it was causing her to dry up, bro.
And so when I heard you flip it and call him a pedo, it didn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it was not a good thing. You know, I'm just probably lucky. Shut up, fuckers.
You know, Cosmic's right.
You know what? No, I mean, listen, Steph, not everyone has the same fortitude and stick-to-itiveness and gumption that
you
have.
fucking bully.
Yeah, you want a fortune cookie?
We can't all be bullies.
Hey, whoa. I'm not even against what she's saying right now. You don't
With
have to
2 H's and shit.
Like,
Why not 3?
I'm admitting it. I'm wrong.
Steph Triple H.
So,